Hi guys, welcome to another video tutorial at Chlo's Craft Closet. My name's Chloe Evans. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia on the beautiful mid-north coast of New South Wales. And today I wanted to show you how to make one of these amazing floating frames, which isn't easy to say when you say it fast. It's using the press and seal Glad wrap, which you can't find in Australian supermarkets, but you can buy it online. It's very popular over in the States, and also I believe you can get it in New Zealand as well. So all my New Zealand girls, you'll be lucky because you'll be able to get this. So this is the main one, but with this little cutout bit, I actually then made a second card. Here we go. And so it looks like it's actually floating. See? Clever, hey? And they're so beautiful, such beautiful cards. Okay, so let's get on and we'll make that. Okay, so what do you need? You're going to need the Free as a Bird stamp set, which if you don't already have this, you need to get it. Girls, this is the most beautiful stamp set we have in the catalogue at the moment. I actually think it's better than the Magnolia. I might be, calling it a bit early, but I personally think it's better than the Magnolia stamp. So you need the Free as the Bird stamp set. Which is really, I'm only actually going to use the sentiments on this today because the hero piece of our card today is actually the Bird Ballad paper. And here we go, this is it. Now, it's been well and truly chewed into because this paper is beautiful. So, as you can see, there's the birds, stripy paper, we've seen that one. Some more birds in branches, some beautiful spots, and yours will come with a full pack, but I have used mine to death. What else have I got here? Oh, I've got some more, and that's little, can you see that? It's little bird's feet, I think. Cute, aren't they, little birdie feet? We're actually going to be using this paper today with all these beautiful flowers, and on the back is this really cool key set, which I think would make a really nice man's card. So this, I might try not to use this piece. This is the only bit I have left. I've used the other whole sheet and a half, but I might keep this one because I reckon this would be a really good man's card paper. That one we've already seen. Oh, and this one I literally only have little strips of it left. So this was pretty feathers. Look how gorgeous those feathers are. And on the back it has different kinds of vintage bird cages on the back. That's all I have of that paper. So obviously that was super popular as well. In fact, I think I've used that paper on a card tutorial video that's coming up next week. So definitely check back in with me. Don't forget to subscribe. Click on the subscribe button. And I think there's a little bell as well in the top right hand corner. I think it might be that you ring it and it will then ding ding let you know when another card's being made by me. All right, so let's get on. So what you are going to need, I'll bring this back while I'm talking to you so you can see. We're going to need a couple of those birds from the DSP and the flowers from the DSP. I'm actually going to change up my backing this time. I'm going to go with a base of So Saffron. I really love this yellow. I don't think it gets enough of a chat, really. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I'm going to keep with that nice spotty paper, which I believe, let me have a look on the back of the paper quickly. Where does it say? Where does it say? The colours. I've got all these scraps in here. I don't think I can see. Oh, maybe it's on the other side. No. Oh, there it is. Right in there. Sorry, guys, you couldn't really see. Okay, so right here, it tells you the colours, and it says it's basic black, basic grey, Bermuda Bay, Calypso Coral, Crumb Cake, Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Smoky Slate, Soft Suede, Whisper White. Wow, there's a lot of colours in there. And obviously, that's not all the colours because some of these yellows are softer, some of these pinks are softer, so they are a graduation of those bold colours as well. So I'm guessing this is a Petal Pink colour. But I'm going to team it up with my So Saffron today. Oh, you don't need that little piece. So we're going to need a base, a piece of pattern paper, and then we're going to want 2 pieces of Whisper White. Now, I've obviously got to cut these down yet, but one is going to be our back. So see that mount there, that white mounted piece there. So one of those is going to be for white mounted. And then to actually do this technique, I find it's easier to lay these on another piece of white, which is the same size as whatever you're going to back it onto eventually. So in this case, I'm going to cut a piece of white that is the same size as this spotty paper. Okay. It'll explain, as I go along, it'll explain and you'll understand a little bit more. Okay, so let's get cutting. So I'm going to get my trusty cutter out. And my card is actually A6 size. So we're going to cut our, turn this around to this side. We're going to cut our paper, bring out his little arm. And we're going to cut him at 8 inches. Now I'm just going to move my bit of tape. I always have a bit of sticky tape on my trimmer because you never know when you might want to stick something down and hold it in place, and especially when you're cutting little skinny bits. But I don't need it down, so I'm going to stick him at the back there. All right, so I'm going to cut him at 8. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to cut him again at 5 3/4. And then I'm going to turn him back around again and I'm going to score him at 4. And that is going to give us, can you see that score line? Oh yeah, just about. That is going to give us our card base. Ta-da! Nice and easy. Okay, so that's that piece done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to cut that white piece of mounted whisper white paper at the back. So I'm hoping, this is just a scrap that I've grabbed out, so I'm hoping this is going to be long enough. So I want to cut him at 5 1/2. So only 1/4 inch smaller. Turn him around and then at 3 3/4. So again, 1/4 inch smaller. And that looks like, yeah, look at that. That wasn't too bad. Only took a tiny little piece off. Okay, so that will now go as our piece at the back. That's going to be our mounted piece. Now we're going to need a piece of patterned paper, DSP, and I'm going to use this nice petal pink spotty paper. And we're going to, again, drop this down, but only by a little bit this time. So the last piece was 5 1/2. We're going to drop it down 1/8. Okay, so that's that tiny little piece right there. And so we're cutting it at 5 3/8. Put that over there. And then turn him around. And instead of 3 3/4, which is what we just cut, we're going to drop it down 1/8 again. And we're going to cut it, so that is 3 5/8. So all the measurements for this, girls, will be on my blog at Chlo's Craft Closet, blogspot.com. I'll have all the measurements. And if you want to purchase any of this paper, this beautiful paper, or the stamp sets, or anything else from Stamping Up, and you're here in Australia, I'm more than happy to be your demo. So there's a link to my store. You can pop over. And at the moment, there's such a fantastic signing up offer. So all the details for that. If you've ever thought about, you know, signing up with Stamping Up, maybe you want a little bit of extra money for at home, or you want a bit of a discount on your supplies, now is a brilliant time to be signing up. So again, all the details can be found over on my blog. Okay, so we've got our main cardstock. We've got our card base, we've got our our mat, our DSP, and so now I want another piece of card that is the same size as this patterned DSP, and that we're going to use that as our guide for when we lay out our birds and our leaves. So that DSP we cut at 5 3/8, which is what I'm going to cut this down to, and then 3 5/8. And like I said, we're not actually going to use this. This is just going to be our guide for when we're lining up where we're going to put our birdies. Okay, so I'm just going to line that up, and as you can see, it fits perfectly, perfect size. Okay, and that is about it for the cutting at the moment. So I'm just going to tuck him back over here. Now, I'm going to get out the magic. This is what's magic. This is the press and seal. So this is like a slightly adhesive, you can hear it, it's a bit sticky, glad wrap, cling foil, cling wrap, whatever you guys want to call it. So you can, like I said, you can buy it online. If you Google it, there are places that you can get it. If you've got any friends in New Zealand, ask them to cut you off a sheet and send it to you. And it is slightly tacky, not ever so tacky, but just enough. And all it's really going to do is just hold our little birdies in place. So that's what you're going to want to look for. Glad press and seal. I've got a 70-foot one, but it does come in other sizes. So have a Google of that, because you can do that. Now, I do believe that you can do the same technique. It will work with other things as well. So I know some people have used it with actual glad wrap. They said that's worked. And the other thing is you can just pick them up and stick them down. You can lay them out, pick them up gently, stick them down, and it'll still work the same sort of way. Okay, so let's get on. So I'm assuming you're thinking, well, she's using those birds and flowers from that DSP. Are we going to sit here and now watch her cut that all out by hand? Because unfortunately, this set doesn't have a die. I'm just trying to find where my cutout bits actually are. What have I done with them? They're somewhere here, somewhere here. Over here, over here, over here. On the floor. Usually things are on the floor. No, what have I done with them all? Oh, no, that's no good. I'm going to have to cut them all by hand. No, I'm not. I'm just joking. I'm not really. I'm going to find them. They're here somewhere. Yes, so what I'm actually going to do, you can cut them all out by hand if that's what you would like to do. There is nothing wrong with that. If you're into a bit of fussy cutting, which I know some of you guys are, I actually find it quite therapeutic, really. But you can cut them out individually. Or what you can do is if you have an electric cutter, which is what I've done, you can actually, here they are. Sorry, guys, I knew they were somewhere. They were on a shelf. If you've got an electric cutter, I have a scan and cut. You can actually run this through, this piece of pattern paper through on your scan and cut, and it will cut all of this out. Now, I have a tutorial also on this YouTube channel, so have a little look at it. It shows you how to set up your scan and cut to actually do this. But I managed to cut all of this out. Oh, not that piece. You don't want that piece. All of these beautiful pieces out. Took my scan and cut 3 minutes to cut all of this out. And I have made a lot of cards of these. A lot. I think I might have cut over 50 birds and probably the same amount again for flowers. So as you can see, I'll put a few closer to the camera so you can have a look. So you can set it to cut as a border or you can set it on the black line. I always like a border because then if it's slightly off or there's a line that it doesn't really like, it doesn't notice it quite so much. But sure beats a bit of fussy cutting, that's for sure. Fussy cutting has its place. But when you want to cut a lot of these, this is the perfect way to do it. All right, so let's get on and I'll show you what you want to do. So this is your template. And what you're going to do is you're going to place all your birds and flowers on your piece of, on your template, on your piece of Whisper White. And you want them close together because you want to get as many together as possible. So you're just going to decide which ones you like where, and you're just going to stick them. Now, don't forget to have a few overhanging because that's how it's, you know, that's what gives it its really fun effect. Do I want that one there? This is, I always think this is the hardest part, trying to decide where you actually want to put everything. You know, it's all well and good getting on with it. No, I don't want that. Can't have two pinks together. Can't have two pinks together. What about, that's quite a pretty yellow, isn't it? Oh, but that's yellow there. All right. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Here's a big blue one. Maybe we can do him. So put that there. Put that there. And you're just going to move them around. Fill in all the gaps. Now, we are going to cut. I'll bring back my copy. We are going to cut a rectangle out. So, as you can see, I've actually cut off his head, which I thought was going to be a problem. But I did, you can't see it now, but I did put the piece I cut out onto this card, made another card, and his head is actually under this bird here. So if you cut off a head, don't panic too much. It's not the end of the world. He will survive as such. Okay, I think we'll have another bit. Tuck that bit in there. Another bit up. Maybe another bit there. And we've got another little one. What about this little blue one here? That's it. Just move them all along. Move them along till you fit them in. Okay, I could be here for days fiddling around with this, so I'm just going to say done. All right, so that is, we can move all these little bits. Those will make another card another day. Tuck those over there. So that is my template for my card. Oh, I almost went to move it. Did you see? I was going to fiddle with it a bit more. I just think I want to turn him around. Does he fit better in there? Like that. Tuck this one down a little more. Okay, that's it. No more fiddling. So this is where your press and seal comes in. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of press and seal and you're just going to pull a bit off. Doesn't have to be much. And you're going to tear him off like you do. and you're going to stick this on here. Now, before I do that, little top tip. Even though it's not super duper tacky, it's still tacky that it might rip your paper if you press too hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on the carpet. So I'm just bending down on the floor and I'm just going to rub that on my carpet and pull it off. And I've probably pulled up a whole heap of dog hairs because I have a dog who likes to sleep in here. And that just takes that little bit of tacky off. And you're just going to gently lay it on. If you've moved a couple, that's not a problem. You can just move them back. It's not the end of the world because, like I said, it's tacky, but it's not super tacky. And what you want to make sure you do is not push down too hard on your press and seal. Okay, not too hard. You just want to gently push it on. Push, 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 push. And then what we're going to do now is we are going to pull up the whole, oh, push it down a bit. Obviously missed that bit. You're going to pull up the whole piece. So you need to make sure you push it on the white piece as well. That one you can push down harder on because the white doesn't matter. We're not using the white. That's just our template. So we're going to pick it up and there you go. See? It's kept them all. And what we're going to do now is we are going to bring our trimming back in and we are going to trim all these edges. Trim all the edges off. And so it's now the same side again as our card front's going to be. Okay. Oh, I didn't have it up the right way round and then I turned it around. All right. So we're going to just line this up as much as we can. Now, we obviously can't line it up against our guide because we haven't got a side yet that isn't flat. So we're just going to start off and then we can use that straight line now to cut these ones off. Okay, and cut that one off. Oh, and if you trim a little bit of the paper, it's not a big deal. It's not a huge piece, just a little bit won't hurt. All right, and the same with this one. I might start him up here this time. So I'm going to take that bit off. And you just keep going around and going around. Going around, going around. And we're going to trim that bit off. There we go. And what I might do now is I'm just going to trim. There's a couple of bits there. I might just trim that a little bit more. Get those few wispies out. There we go. And right back round to the beginning, which still had a few bits that we needed to sort of tidy up. So we'll just tidy those up. And that's it. So when we turn him around, there we go. We have our card panel. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So what we're going to do with that now, and this is the little bit that's a bit tricky. We want to peel the press and seal up with the flowers and birds still stuck to it, but releasing the white cardstock underneath. So we want to sort of find a bit. There we go. There's a bit there. And we're going to ever so gently peel off our press and seal while keeping the flowers and the birds all in the same place, but leaving that white bit behind. So gentle, 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 gentle. Like I said, this is always the trickiest part. Without dropping, just work your way around the card, pulling them up. Oh, almost there. So close. There we go. Ta-da! And this now will become our floating frame. So this piece, we don't need this piece now. And it's perfectly fine. No marks to it. Looks like normal. We can use this for a card base for another day. So go put that in your scraps that you're going to keep. So we're now going to flip. Oh, no, we're not. Hang on. Before we do the flipping and the sticking, we need to cut our window out. Oh, Chlo, you almost forgot. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our big shot over. Oh, Mr. Big. Let's move all this rubbish out of the way. Bring our big shot over here without sticking it on our card. I'm such a mess. Am I the only one who's a messy crafter? Honestly, such a messy crafter. All right, I'm going to put all these bits away. like I said, we've got enough there to probably make another 2 or 3 of this type of card. And this type of card can make at least 2 cards out of 1 piece of press and seal. So, I mean, that is getting your money's worth right there. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here like so. And what we're going to do is we want to grab ourselves a nesting die. So I'm going to get my rectangular dies. Okay, so here we go. Here's the stitched rectangles. Now, we're using what I call the 3rd size. So 1, 2, 3. The 3rd size is for our greeting, our banner. So that's what you're going to cut that with. So when you can maybe use your scrap for that. But I need to have a hole for that to nest in. So we are going to take the next size up, which is this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to line that up on our Big Shot. And we are going to, see how I'm going to cut his head off? Doesn't matter, it's not a big deal. We're going to lay that on top and we're going to run that through. And I'm trying not to move my camera too much. I'm hoping he's going to go through fairly easily. Okay, let's see. Was 1 enough or do I need to go again? Oh, no, I think 1's fine. Ta-da! So we'll move the triangle over and we're just going to see. Now, if you tear your press and seal, that's not a problem because that's not the bit we're after, because that's going in the bin once we've done with it, so don't worry about that. We just want to keep all our pieces in the right place. All right, so keep going round, keep going round, keep going round. There. So that is how we make the second card. So that now becomes this card. See, that's how we make card number 2. So we don't need that one today, so we'll tuck that over there. So while you've got your Big Shot out, we'll just move our frame to one side so we don't run it over. You would get that 3rd die. So this is number 4, this is number 3, and you would run that through one of your pieces of cardstock that you've got. And I've already done one with the miracle of technology. I already have one cut out. Okay, so that's what you would use that for. So now we can put Mr. Big away because he is done with. So I might just pop him down here on the floor. Alrighty, so now we're pretty much there. That's it, guys. We're pretty much done. So let's bring all our bits back in. So we have our card base, we have our mount, our DSP, and then our fancy frame. And so this will now line up on here. He's going to line up there. That's the plan. So how do we go about doing that? Okay, so this is where the magic happens. We are going to get some of our miniature. I find the miniature ones are the better ones, our mini foam mounts. And we are just going to put foam on the back of all of our little birds and cutouts. So you can go as crazy as you want with this. I know some people are a bit crazy with the amount of foam mounts that they have and how many they want. You just want enough that you've got a good stability, I suppose is the word. You want it stable. You don't want any flat spots. And you're just putting it on, can you see? Just putting it on the die cuts, not on your press and seal, not on Glad press and seal. It doesn't go on there because that's actually going in the bin, that piece. Okay, we're not using that. That's just holding its shape. It's holding the shape of the card. So a bit in here, bit in here, bit in here. Now, you're going to notice there's going to be a few bits, not so much on this card in particular, but sometimes you get a couple of little tiny bits. And so you might miss that they need foam mounting. And so when you peel off your press and seal, you might find that you've got some that are still sort of, you know, there's some spots, some holes. Okay, I might trim. Do you guys do this? Trim down your foam mounts. I couldn't think what it was called then. So I'm always cutting foam mount to size. Take the edge, especially this one. It's got a really good edge. And, okay, I'm just going to cut a couple of little pieces. Ooh. I'm just going to cut a couple of little pieces because I want to get the bird's legs there. And see this piece here? I want to make sure I get that piece as well. Oh, it's hard to see from up here. Oh, look, that bit doesn't belong there. That bit was a stowaway. Okay, and I think one more just over. I can't get the backing off. It's stuck. There we go. One more there. Okay, so I'll bring this up so you can have a closer look. So I've got hopefully enough foam mount on all of those pieces. And now the tedious job of taking them off. And this is why my house is covered in backing. Is yours the same? Do you find the backing of everything everywhere? God, I know I do. Everywhere I look, I have foam mount backing. I even was hoovering the other day and found one stuck to the head of the dog. I'm not even sure how it got on her head, but it did. All right, that one there, that one there. I reckon this is the hardest part, taking all these little pieces off. I don't have too many little ones either today. Working my way around. So as I said, all this product today is from the Ballad suite, and you can purchase that through my online store and have it shipped to you directly anywhere in New South Wales. And it's such a beautiful set. It's going to be one of those sets that you're going to want to keep. And the paper, you're just going to use it so much that you're going to have to buy. In fact, do it when you first order. Buy 2 packs. I'm telling you, it's perfect for little girls' cards. It's perfect for mother's cards. Perfect for grandmother's cards. Like, it really is cute. And I even think the little bird, there's a little bird in the stamp set. And if you colour him like one of the little birds in the DSP, he looks like a robin. You can even use it for Christmas. Multiple reasons to use him. Okay, so we're going to turn him around. They're all gone. And now all we're going to do is just try and line up as best as we can. Ooh, without it getting... God, they're sticky, aren't they? I just find spinning it around, pulling it tight, spinning it around, just keep pulling at it. Pull, 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 pull. Last one. There. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, I was a bit off camera then. Sorry, girls. Okay, so that's it. And then this is where the magic happens. And this is why you have to hope you haven't pushed too hard on that press and seal. If you have, and you have a problem, I can solve that for you. All right, so gently pull it back on itself, I find is the trick. Instead of pulling up, pull it back. Gentle, little bit at a time. And because we did stick it to the carpet, and so it's covered in dog hair and fluff and flick and whatever else, it wasn't as tacky, which meant it was tacky enough to hold it in place, but not tacky enough, she says, hopefully, to pull off any of that paper, any of that pattern. It's a slow job, slow. I probably could fast forward this, but it's really important that you do it slowly, and I show you that slow is good. Now you can see I've got a few bits of paper that I've obviously peeled off in places, but not enough to warrant anyone to notice. Almost there. Slowly, pulling it back on itself. Peel. So there you go, that's a perfect example. Okay, so see how that piece has come off? That was obviously too little, and I missed it with the foam mount. So I could go back in and add a piece of foam mount, but I'm not too fussed about it. I'm going to leave it. Okay, peel, and done. Look at that. And there's your floating frame card. Beautiful. How amazing is that? Now, I obviously stuck that on slightly wonky, or maybe I moved it when I was sticking it on, but can you see how it's overhanging? Just a little bit. So all I'm going to do is come in with my scissors, and I'm just going to follow the paper up and just snip him off. Just like that. Awesome. Oh, love it. So all we're now going to do is we can stick that onto our backing piece. Oh, I think there's another piece there that's a bit wonky. All right, let's trim him up too. Might have to trim him this way so I can see. There we go. So we're just going to not trim him up, stick him on. We've done the trimming, and we're going to put him in place, and that is how we make that floating frame. So I will get trusty old Tombow out. Put a piece on here. Make sure there's enough to hold it in. Isn't that paper beautiful as well? Oh, it's almost a shame to hide him. Almost a shame to hide him. All right, and we're just going to put that on. Oh, straight, Chlo. Oh my goodness. That's why I use Tombow, so you can just move him into place. There we go. Beautiful. Stick that down. And then we're going to add Tombow again. Dee, 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 dee. And we're going to now this time mount him on to our saffron. Oh, like in the middle. And does it need to go up? I think so. As usual, I couldn't find my glasses, and so I'm doing this from a height, which means I can't actually see very well. All right. Oh, and I didn't check. Oh, yes, I did put it on the right way around. Okay, so that is the main part of our card done. So cool. Look at that. So cool. So now we just need our sentiment. So we're going to go back and get that rectangle that we had previously cut with the number 3 framelit. And we're going to get the stamps from the Free as a Bird set. And I think we might use The World Needs More of You. That's kind of cute, isn't it? Okay, let's find that one. Oh, here it is with its super duper super sticker. And oh, there's my block. Now, for those of you who've watched me before will know this little tip. I like to line my block up square on the lines, on the grid lines, and then I can line up, oh, it helps if it's the right way around, line up my writing by looking through and seeing the writing line up like that. Okay, and I always practice. You've always got to have a little practice. Nobody should just stamp straight away. Now, I'm actually going to stamp with Early Espresso because it's my favourite, but also because, see, look, that looks really wonky, but it's my sticker. See, look at that. My sticker looks wonky, but my stamp stamps perfectly. Okay. And I might put this in this corner. There. Look at that. Otherwise, and of course you could colour these in if you want to, but I'm going to leave them. I'm going to leave them white this time. I think I'll add another one just up there. There we go. And foam mount again. Actually, shall we use it? Let's do it flat. Let's stick him flat because everything else is foam mounted up. So let's stick the sentiment flat. Bit of Tombow. Turn it around. Centre him up in the middle. And there. There's your card. How gorgeous is that? The world needs more of you. Definitely. So let's bring in the other one. So this was same but different colour. And then with that leftover piece, don't forget we've still got this piece hanging around. We can then use it and make the second card like that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, if you love watching my videos and want to know more, definitely click on the subscribe button. All the details and close-up photos will be over on my blog. There's my bin man coming to pick up the bin. And again, if you want to purchase anything from my store, please head on over to my blog and you can shop with Chlo. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.